Welcome to the Screen Time Continuum and happy Wednesday out there, guys. What's going on? I hope Hump Day is going well for everybody out there. So I'm gonna definitely open with a happy Hump Day. This is the Screen Time Continuum. My name is Keelan, and as always, I'm here with Nick. What's going on, Nick? How you feeling?
Hey, happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Doing all right. How are you?
I can't complain. It's a wonderful moon on this night, I can say.
Hey,
Uh, I don't know if that was a good or a bad pun, but I ran with it.
it's
Um,
probably about as quality as this episode. So,
oh, the Gods and Monsters episode, you mean?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I saw a few gods, not many monsters, but yeah. Um, so definitely, we are here to cover episode 6, the season, possibly series finale for the Moon Knight. That is currently a series that is running. I guess they're considering these web series now. So that is a web series that is running on Disney Plus currently. We get the final episode today. But if you have not seen the final episode, by all means, this is your spoiler warning. Take the time now to turn away. Come on back another time. Come on back maybe a little later. Just go and watch the episode. It's 46 minutes. So we'll see you in an hour. Come on back, see what we have to say about it. But if you've already seen it, and or you haven't even watched Moon Knight, but you want to know how we feel about it so that you have an idea of what it was going towards, hey, sit right here. We got plenty coming in for you. And with that being said, this again is the episode 6, the finale. It is entitled Gods and Monsters. Nick, what are your initial impressions on this episode?
Hmm. Um, dude. Yeah, I don't know, man. I can't really even. I feel confounded, speechless almost. I don't know what I can say. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't think that it was very good. And ultimately, it was anticlimactic and kind of cleaned itself up in the end credit scene. And then, like there was 2 minutes of Moon Knight in this episode. I think about 2 to 3, maybe let's say 5. Let's go crazy.
I was gonna say I'd say 5.
5 whole minutes of Moon
5 whole
Knight
minutes if you put together both suits.
Right. Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. Which gives Moon Knight a total of about, I think, 18 minutes ish in this entire series. In 6 hours of a show called Moon Knight, you see about 18 minutes of the hero.
I don't know how much of an argument anybody can have with that statement,
bro. And then the bait and switch also. Yeah, there's a lot I got to say about this, but my overall impressions weren't. Man, that was a waste of Oscar Isaac. That was a waste of Ethan Hawke. That was a waste of Egyptian mythology. It's just, yeah.
Throw the whole thing in the trash. It's over. Good thing it's over, basically.
Yeah, it's over. But who knows? I don't even like. Is there going to be a season 2? Do you care?
That is a great question. Do I care? I think that's the real question. We have the luxury with this of not caring. So no, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think there's going to be a season 2?
Yeah, I'm kind of on it too. What else is there to do?
I don't know. That's the question. Even with the way it ends, the post credit doesn't make me want a new season per se.
No,
but I'm not against a new season. I can't say I hated this episode in its entirety. But I also cannot say it was my favorite. Was definitely not my least favorite though. Episode 5 is probably my least favorite. So my initial thoughts, I don't hate it. So I think I'm going to be a lot lighter on it. I would say that much than you as far as the critical aspects. There are a lot of things to be critical about. I thought this episode was entertaining. Again, I give episode 5 and episode 6 both kind of stand alone. Like they both can really not be attached to the first 4 episodes and you'll get something out of them. I think if episode 6 was not attached to 1 through 5, you could have enjoyed it a little more. because there was nothing to try to remember and connect it to, and there was no anticipation of, are you trying to lead me into the next season? Which is what happens with every finale.
Mm.
But as a standalone, this episode to me had some likable characteristics. You have the reuniting, you have of multiple things, um, and then you have the introduction of a few things as well. But I understand exactly what you're saying, and to add to your end of it, as far as what was kind of like, why would you do that? Why are we even doing this episode, really, right? There were a lot of things that had to be done to make this entertaining. Addition of heroes, of concepts, which
Was that necessary though?
that is where, and that's what I was gonna say is, I think that's where that possible season two goes, not necessarily to Moon Knight season two,
Yeah,
but
where else can it
a
go?
new avatar of another god.
Mm-hmm.
So in this case, it would be a Taweret spinoff somehow, which not I'm guessing at that point she would be the flamingo queen or something. I don't know.
Even though it's a hippopotamus.
It's a hippopotamus, and she apparently has wings as her avatar, but they're gods. What are we gonna do? Make them be specific? No, they're just powerful.
I mean, Moon Knight has a literally a white suit that glows in the moonlight and has a crescent moon cape. You would think that maybe Taharet's avatar would have some sort of hippo quality to it.
You're right.
I mean, why
well, she
the
was powerful.
wings?
She busted down that whole wall with her bare hands. She's powerful at minimum.
More powerful than everybody else, apparently.
Yeah, because nobody else was punching through walls.
No.
So overall, though, I like the introduction of some. I mean, excuse me. I can understand how the introduction of certain things just seemed like you asked, was it necessary? Maybe not. The monologue to self and just a lot of different things that could be like in a standalone moment, that was not necessary. But as in an episode in its entirety, to me, actually, no, I'll say that this series, to me, every episode had its own level of consistency for one particular thing. In this one, it was that. I'm so sorry, guys. In this episode, it seemed like there was a lot of connection, but ego, so to speak. There was a lot of ego. So what I mean by that is, even though it's not like a boastful ego, I, from the gods, from the avatars, from the followers, this entire episode, everybody was seemingly working for themselves, but somehow working with the opposite side to get to a goal. So I get both sides. I get how this could be a not likable episode. From the very beginning, there were things that were like, what?
Yeah. I would ask you multiple questions, to be honest, because I'm like, well, because it seems like you're talking about it outside of the rest of the series, but I don't know if you can do that. I mean, like, this is supposed to be it's the finale, man. Yeah. It's the finale, and again 5 minutes of Moon Knight, like, and we know what they blew the CGI budget on, and it wasn't on the superhero fighting.
No, it was on the sandstorm.
The sandstorm, and then the giant crocodile, and then the giants, giant Khonshu that are fighting against the pyramids, but nobody can see them. I guess are they in like a different realm?
What's weird is it seems like the only people that can see them are their followers that already know they exist. But it didn't.
That would have been nice if they explained. Clarified that a bit more.
Yeah, but what I didn't understand about that is that makes sense if Taweret was not trying to take over. Why does she care if they see her or not?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, there's a whole lot about this that I'm just like, I don't know. Mm-hmm. This isn't Moon Knight. Why did we call it this? This is like
definitely not the Moon Knight. This is Egyptology.
Yeah,
via Marvel.
Yeah, it's kind of like a spin-off of The Mummy. You know, like that's where this belongs.
I don't know if that's insulting to the Mummy or to this, so I'm just
Well, The
gonna say
Mummy
okay.
is great. The first Mummy is great, but that's
Yeah,
why I said
yeah,
spin-off, because you
yeah.
got things like Scorpion King and you know, stuff like that. So
Was that good?
that
Never
was
mind.
The Rock's first movie.
It was The Rock's first movie, or was it his very first movie?
I think it was, yeah.
Ironically, I think we've even had that discussion on the show before
Probably.
about that being his first film. And he did decent in it. What can we say? Decent is as much as it's getting for me.
Yeah.
But
So I think that what's really bugged me the most about this is that it just, what was this? This isn't, I don't know.
I agree. It's not a Moon Knight show.
It's not a
Wait, I
Moon
do want
Knight
to say
show.
the lighting was much better in this episode than any other episode.
Yeah.
The lighting was great,
Sure.
but they were outside most of the time. So
Yeah. Yeah.
and we definitely said all the outside lighting was perfect.
So my question is though, where's the other guy?
Aha. So I think so here's the deal. I figured out about the Jake Lockley character, but I didn't know his name. I figured that there was something else going on there. Because he only really came into play when it seemed like Mark and Steven were failing as a pair.
Right.
And that automatically made me think like he's not I think he might be closer to what I was thinking Steven was. Something that crept on its way back, like something that tagged along.
Mm. Yeah, well, he speaks Spanish, so now we got a Spanish-speaking Oscar Isaac, a British accent Oscar Isaac, and then just regular plain Oscar Isaac.
American douchebag Oscar Isaac.
Yeah. But
I'm not to cut you off. I'm sorry, but you said it a minute ago, and I said at the top of this series when we first started covering it, like, man, I'm really glad that they got Oscar Isaac and Ethan Hawke, and they're great actors. And what a waste of Oscar Isaac and Ethan Hawke. You said it already. I just have to say it again because it just hit me again with you mentioning he plays 4 characters in this show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they severely underutilized a lot of them. Everything was about Steven, and that's fine. But then you introduce Jake, and you know, Moon Knight is just an afterthought in this whole show, which is crazy because it's named Moon Knight, you know. And I didn't appreciate that he was just getting his ass kicked over and over again. Moon Knight's a shitty superhero. He's not good at it.
His power is he don't die.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, it's just, that's it.
He can fight, he can shoot. He ain't the best at nothing except not dying. He's the best at not dying. That's about it.
Yeah, that's fair. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot to, I don't know,
there's kind of a lot to unpack, but not a lot to unpack.
Yeah, because it felt rushed, man. To be honest, it felt rushed. This feels like it should have been the midway point.
Fair.
You know, like,
that's what. Oh, I understand what makes you ask about a season 2 now.
Yeah, because it does feel like this is like a midway point into the whole story. But do I care about the next part of the story? Absolutely not. Harrow is dead, and he was terribly utilized. Who's the next bad person going to be? They going to go to war with the Norse gods?
Well, it'll be Harrow and
Harrow's dead.
Well, Harrow and Amit would be dead.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So we could just kill a guy like that?
Yeah, because they bound Amit to Harrow because they just wrote themselves in a corner and they exposition dumped on that. And we're like, yeah, if we bind them to a human person, then we can kill the person.
Sure
because when we
spirit works.
Because when we bound it to a statue and then broke the statue, the god was released. But if you bind it to a human and kill the human, they die.
That's exactly what I thought. I was like, wait, so the statue. Okay.
Yeah, you know. But that's what I mean about this sort of like slapdash. It was like almost like, all right, how do we end this shit? Let's end it. You know, over it. Yeah. Like even the writers and the storyteller was over it by the a 6 episode. It's like, okay, well, I don't know why I should have watched this.
I mean, I do understand. Crazy, it's so crazy. I definitely understand. I just feel like they put all of the writing intensity into this one episode. Like trying to give you all of the strong visual stuff, trying to give you
Yeah.
all of the episodes 5 and 6 got the entire CG budget.
Yes, definitely.
And I think they
And
utilized
most of the story progression, if you think about it.
that's exactly what I was going to add to it. And I
Yeah.
think because of that, they utilized most of the good story arc points during a lot of the good visual effects and a lot of the good the visually appeasing scenes. Like the scene with Layla where she burst out as a Tyrette's avatar. That was just a great scene. It
Yeah,
just
but
and
it
not
was
because
purposely a great scene. It was framed perfectly. It was
and that's
supposed to
exactly
be
what I was
her
gonna say.
hero moment.
It was just the cinematography, but it lays out the idea that this character is gonna get a series or is gonna
Great,
pop up
but I would
somewhere.
have loved to have the series that they told us we were watching instead of the setup for the series that they're going to try to sell
I
me
agree.
in the next year or two. Like,
I
that's my
agree.
whole point. I'm so sick of this model Disney does. It's like, we're going to hook you with the thing that you want to see. And then while you're watching the thing that you want to see, we're going to tell you about the thing that we're going to be doing in a couple of years from now that you're going to want to see because we're not doing any service to this story. We're just setting up the thing that we want to show you in a
Mhm.
couple of years. It's
And notice that Layla's character or avatar didn't get a name.
not yet. Not yet. Yeah.
No, that's exactly. So I don't think they got that far in the process, but now that that's left open, they can still carry forward.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you know what they're doing. They're going to have Mighty Thor. They're going to have her. They're going to have
Miss Marvel.
Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel. Then you're going to have what's her name? The Hawkeye's replacement.
Okay. Probably.
Um,
Well, I don't know if they're gonna do the female Black Panther spin yet. Riri Williams,
Kate
Iron
Bishop.
Man.
Kate Bishop. That's who
Kate
it is.
Bishop. Yeah, that's her name.
Yeah.
Probably. I
Um,
wonder is Riri Williams a part of that one too? The Iron Man.
they're talking about it, but they haven't introduced her into the MCU yet.
Mhm. Right. Yeah, they have. No. I think she has a cartoon out. No, or is that or just a book?
Oh, as far as the movies are concerned, she's got like
Okay. Yeah.
she has comics and stuff. She's in the comics, yeah.
Okay.
But as far as the movies are concerned, I don't think she's been introduced yet. But like I can see this telegraph move from a mile away, and it's like, so did you tell me I watched the last 7 or 8 things that you guys made, all in service of trying to set up some sort of ham-fisted female Avengers? Like,
I understand. The girl, and what you said, it makes me remember the female Avengers. The girl who asked Layla's character if she was an Egyptian hero.
yeah.
She looks like Kamala Khan to me.
I mean, she could be, yeah.
Looked exactly like her, and she's like, "Are you an Egyptian superhero?" And I'm like, "So that
What
would
an
actually
organic thing for a child to say.
like, dude." And but okay. So something else I learned during it's weird to learn this the week of the finale. This should have been somewhere for me to find episode 1-ish. So this apparently is taking place in 2025.
Yeah, okay.
With
Isn't that
that,
when everything with the Marvel
no,
universe after
this
the
is a
blip?
whole yeah, this is a whole 2 years later after coming back from the blip. I want to say they come back
Oh,
from the
okay.
blip in like 2023.
Oh, okay.
Hawkeye takes place in 2024.
Mhm.
So this being 2025, everybody like superheroes are a normalcy, like it's the most normal thing ever. And
So
that's
this
where
is
the
but this is why I'm also confused, because you have another giant long story thread that's been kind of barreling down the way in the multiverse.
oh right.
So what
And
happened?
this is
So
not a part of it.
what's her name? Female Loki broke the multiverse, but then Doctor Strange also broke the multiverse, and now we're gonna go see Doctor. So where is this happening in conjunction with Moon Knight
Well,
2025?
so that's the thing. Moon Knight is apparently not in the MCU, but it is on the timeline for Phase 4. So it's not affected by the multiverse apparently
So
because
they're
they
just
won't
using
have to deal with it.
alternate timelines to not have to get into any sort of consistency trap.
Yes,
Yeah.
essentially. And so that consistency is what takes me back to the little girl looking like Kamala Khan. Um, that's just them now penning and dropping in those characters like, hey, remember this face? She was involved in here. And then so you'll be able
Yeah.
to bring Moon Knight and Layla's character back in the Miss Marvel show.
Yeah.
Or at least Layla's character, if nothing else.
They're really like, what is the end goal going to be here? Is it going to be like, is there a all female Avengers in the comics? I'm sure. Like,
I'm sure there is.
what is their name though? I don't know.
Let's find out.
Right. Yeah. Fine. We have the internet.
Right.
Because like, okay, so we know that they're setting up all of these characters, but they just set up all these characters. They didn't have their own. See, this is why I think it's bothering me. All the characters that were set up for the, all of the movies up until Endgame had their own movies. And at this point, not a lot of these characters are having their own thing. It's like you have to.
Yeah, this is the B-roll guys.
It is, but shouldn't we be creating like epic stories for these heroines to go through instead of like trying to slip them in on a known franchise? Like, this is my whole problem with this. It's like,
I kind
why?
of have an answer for that. I just don't know if it's an acceptable one.
I mean, be good storytellers. There's plenty of things to do with this. There's plenty of things.
That there are a million stories that can be told. I'm looking at the list right now of the female superheroes, and I'm like, oh god, I would watch that all day long.
Right?
Can we get Spectrum? Never mind. Before we give it to Monica Rambeau.
Before we get angry,
right? Because I'm looking through it now, and that was irritating me. Like, right? So, their name is the A-Force. The female
A-Force.
Yeah, the A-Force. And this list is just so long. So you have a Secret War roster, you have a post-Secret War roster.
Right. So there's a lot to sort of take from.
Right. But essentially you get like Captain Marvel, Medusa, She-Hulk, Nico Minoru, Singularity, X-23, Tigra, Shadowcat, Psylocke. I'm trying to name all the big ones. Jubilee, Firestar, Enchantress, Elektra. Ooh, geez. Domino.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't know if you could have all of them.
No, you couldn't. But I'm just like I'm starting from.
There's a lot to choose from. There's a lot to choose from there.
Right, Squirrel Girl. We all know how strong she is, and they don't talk about it. Okay, these are the last ones I'm gonna name. Spider-Girl, Scarlet Witch, Miss Marvel, Hawkeye, Emma Frost, Storm, Spider-Woman. Both Spider-Women, in fact, Gwen Stacy and Jessica Drew, Spectrum, Sister Grimm, She-Hulk, Phoenix, Loki, and Jessica Jones. I'll stop there because there's like I'm just gonna keep going.
That sounds a lot closer to what they're doing. That sounds like more of the characters that they're gonna be using. Yeah. Which is totally fine. I feel like I didn't want to watch Moon Knight just so that we could set up Layla.
And I don't even know.
And I feel like that was the whole reason for watching this show. To be honest,
unfortunately, because they talked about her more than they talked about Steven. Like,
yeah,
her. And then what got me was, and because we're not gonna go beat by beat, what got me was you tell Khonshu no because you don't want to be enslaved, and then you say yes to Tyrant, but then you tell Tyrant. First off, how is this human telling a god? But you tell Tyrant, temporary avatar lady. Once you put this suit on,
yeah. Why did you get a say? See, and that's that whole BS, because that's the thing where it gets in the way of storytelling. A normal sympathetic character wouldn't be able to do that type of thing. They would have to actually struggle and make a tough decision instead of basically knowing themselves out of it. No, I'm not doing that.
Themselves usually to save everybody else.
Right.
There was where was the sacrifice in this entire series? Where's the hero's journey in this entire series?
Where's
the love story?
The closest thing you get is the love story between Mark and Steven. That is the love story.
There you go. That's a love story. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah. That's a love story. Fair
Like
enough.
that's pretty much it. That's the only
Mhm.
thing that has any heart, and it's kind of weird because we're looking at Oscar Isaac and Oscar Isaac like, acting off of each other. And
Man, we knew you were a
like
great actor, but geez.
yeah, he's great. I have no complaints about Oscar Isaac whatsoever at all. But I just it is a little strange that, his yeah, his the closest thing we have to sort of like a relationship in this is just between Mark and Steven.
Hmm.
I guess that's the one thing that you would probably need the most anyways, so
I thought that's what the whole
fair
series
enough.
was going to be about anyway.
It would have been better if it was, to be honest.
I
I would
expected
have much preferred a series that was based in the asylum
that's
with
exactly
Mark
what I
and
was going to
Steven.
say. I expected a series based on his disorder.
I would have liked
That's
that. Yeah.
literally what I expected. I expected this entire series to be about his disorder and him finding out that he was bound to a god.
Hmm. That would
And
have
it's
been
like
cool.
the way it went down. Again, I can say I was entertained, but
Yeah.
it's not. It wasn't quite what I expected.
I think, there's one thing to say that one or two episodes in these series might be entertaining, and I think that that's absolutely fair. I just think that overall, and the stories just aren't very strong. They're not,
Hmm.
they're not very strong. And again, we all might just be facing Marvel fatigue. We might be getting tired. I know I certainly am.
A little bit, yeah.
And so maybe
Well,
even the people making the movies are tired, and so they're trying to do different stuff, but the different stuff isn't hitting like the old stuff did.
mhm.
So,
Now you know what is interesting, and I can say this as well.
hmm,
I could have enjoyed this episode more than I should have. I know one thing I considered. Um, I just recently rewatched Spider Man, or
hmm,
did I? No, I didn't rewatch Spider Man. I just watched Spider Man.
right, No Way Home.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I just realized, like, no, I never saw No Way Home. I saw Far From Home, and I just saw No Way Home.
Hmm.
Which they gotta stop making the names so close together. That's confusing as hell.
Yeah, that was. I don't know whose choice that was.
I forget who directed those.
Well, it's like all Kevin Feige. Kevin
All of
Feige
this
does
Kevin
everything.
Feige.
Yeah.
And he did Moon Knight too. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he's in charge
And
of
hey,
everything at Marvel.
right.
Yeah.
Getting broken up, man. I want to know what never mind. I don't want to know. I don't like counting other people's pockets. Um like I don't it's weird because I don't like counting other people's pockets, but I like to know what you could make by doing certain things. And you realize whether you like it or not, that's counting other people's pockets.
Oh yeah, well, that's okay. Um, yeah.
So yeah, okay. Let's see. What are some hot points? Some at least notable things. What can you think of any of the things that you did at least enjoy a little in this particular episode, or in the
No,
series in general? Seeing as how we're at the finale.
no. The only thing I enjoyed was Oscar Isaac occasionally.
Hmm.
This episode was really bad, man. I feel like Harrow was done a disservice. I felt like Ahmet was hokey and kind of cheesy. Like she's a giant crocodile. The CGI didn't look as good. You could tell that the CGI actually looked not as good as episode 5 with the hippopotamus because they had to
Yeah, because they
do
put so much
the
on a crocodile.
because they had to do the crocodile and then Khonshu and stuff. So like the hippopotamus looked shitty again. I was like, what? You
The
guys?
hippopotamus.
It looked
Um,
fine in episode 5, and then episode 6 it started to look crappy. I was like, what? Why did
right.
that happen?
They I also noticed the scale of the hippopotamus was much smaller in episode 6. Like they weren't able to do what
Right.
I guess so many close-ups and such.
Hmm. Yeah. I just feel like it was a big waste. It was a waste of Oscar Isaac. It was a waste of Ethan Hawke. The mythology wasn't very solid. Like, why would Khonshu? Um, I don't know. Like, Khonshu didn't seem very powerful. Nobody seemed like they were powerful. The only thing that was happening was Ethan Hawke was shooting laser beams from his cane. It's like, come on, man. There's so many awesome superheroes and supervillains that you could have like plucked and thrust into this story. We could add an epic battle, and then don't get me started about the finale of this show is literally a blackout.
Literally. Literally. That is literally one of the things I wanted to talk about. What?
That's one of the biggest sins in storytelling I've ever seen. I have ever seen.
I think it's literally them trying to allude to a season 2 that we know is not coming.
I think I'm a bit more cynical. I think it was to save money.
Ooh.
They didn't need to shoot the scene where he fights the supervillain and wins. They didn't show us that.
Ooh. You're absolutely right. I didn't even think about it from that aspect. I was irritated too when it happened because I was like, so we're gonna get a big fight scene in a minute. And then it didn't happen. And I was like, so this isn't an action show?
Yeah, and the one time that he does fight Harrow beats his ass and then he has to get
That
saved
wasn't a
by
fight.
somebody else.
That wasn't a fight.
Well, right. Yeah, he was just
That wasn't, I'm just being it was action, but that wasn't a fight.
Yeah,
If it were
true.
a fight, he and Harold both would have been bloodied, and Harold brother still bested him, but at least they both would have been badly bloodied. That wasn't the case.
But we have no indication that Harrow was any sort of threatening figure before any of this, anyways, because we just have to believe that he was an avatar for Khonshu.
Right.
So that means that he's awesome. Why?
Right, and that was my question at the end when they were having that fight. Now you have Harrow fighting two mercenaries with god body, I mean, or godly powers imbued upon them.
Mm-hmm.
Sir, who were you before? Because you don't necessarily have any power from Amit. You're just carrying this cane around. This cane gives you the power,
right?
But
how come he didn't get a super awesome costume?
Why did he not? Right. He
Everybody else got a costume.
He never got a broken anything. So it's like, okay, so did Amit make you stronger? Like, what is going on here?
It would seem to me that the cane, because the cane activated, he had the power of the cosmic purple light that is so generic. You got to stop doing that magic? Too, Marvel. No, it's just generic
right, no, because that's not
energy.
Chaos.
Generic energy beams.
Well, no, because it was supposed to be something specific because Agatha Harkless, her magic was purple, but it wasn't chaos magic. It was from the same dimension, but it's not chaos.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't remember.
Maybe.
That's the only reason. But... yeah, that's the only thing that made me think. I remember that from Wanda, that Agatha's energy glow was purple or bluish purple, whatever the hell, purple.
Oh, by the way, stay off the internet this weekend if you don't want to get your movie going experience ruined, because mine already has been.
It happens. Yeah. We know it's gonna happen.
That's I got spoiled already, so I'm like, oh great.
Movie just came. What time is it right now? The movie just got.
Bro,
the earliest anybody could have seen this movie was 2 hours ago.
They're throwing clips up. They're going crazy with this movie. Yeah.
Except for people with midnight viewings, the earliest anybody could have seen this movie in regular general admission was 2 hours ago on the East Coast. It's only like 30 minutes ago here.
But I think critics and movie industry insiders got to see it on Monday.
They get screeners too. I always forget about screeners. And if you know people, you could see a movie 2 months before it even hits, depending on how they're passing them around and who's getting them.
Yeah.
Don't ask me. I know.
But yeah, so anybody who wants to go see Doctor Strange, stay off the internet because it's going to get spoiled for you.
Forego your reels and your Instagrams until you get into that theater.
Yes, but come to us on Sunday night because we will be reviewing it.
You better believe it.
And it's going to be a lot of fun. So what else, Keelan? What else have we got on Moon Knight?
Let's see. Moon Knight. That happened. They rejoined Khonshu. They rebond with Khonshu. I said I liked the cinematography around Layla's photo shoot for her new costume because that was pretty cool. It almost looked like a Nike shoot. Sorry, Disney.
Yeah, luckily there was perfect lighting in that corridor of the Great Pyramid.
The only pyramid scene where they were able to actually get lights inside.
Whatever
the heck that was, like the museum needed some more lights too, guys. So yeah, that happened. Yeah, that's pretty much. So what I thought it was interesting. So here was a tip at what was possibly happening and how we missed it, and I think this is cool. What's
What's
going
up,
on?
Vincent? I'm doing
Appreciate you.
good. Thanks for tuning in. We're doing pretty well. Hope you're doing well as well.
Yes, indeed. Um,
We're just talking shit about Moon Knight. So
destruction of Moon Knight.
yeah.
For context, in case you missed it, Vincent, I actually enjoyed the episode, but it wasn't the best. Nick, on the other hand,
Well, you
was
know me
setting
if you've
plays.
seen this show. I always got something to bitch about. So
Burn the negatives.
yeah.
So it was the fact that once Mark told, Khonshu, I'm not you, and you're sounding just like her, and I'm not gonna kill him. We made a deal. Leave me, basically. He goes right back to the asylum, which immediately I was like, okay, so is he dead or is he still stuck in his head? And if he's stuck in his and that's when that's what I like. So where they going? Wait, what you mean that's the end?
Yeah.
Where's the
Right.
rest of the And that's when I was like, I looked, I paused it, I looked 7 minutes. Oh yeah, no,
That's it.
7 minutes is
Yeah.
way too long. Fast forward. There we go. Play.
Right. Right.
So that in itself, immediately as soon as he was in the asylum, and then he gets out of the asylum and he wakes up still in his bed, and it's like Steven usually wakes up in the bed, not Mark.
Right.
So Mark wakes up in the asylum. Steven and Mark are alternating. Oh no, Harold, you don't know what's going on. We know what's going on. So we're gonna wake up now so we can go and save the world.
But
Poof.
why did he go from inside the pyramid with Khonshu to the asylum?
Because the asylum's in his head. It's not real.
So
His
where
bedroom also is in his
was
head. It's not real.
so none of it what? His bedroom's in
He
his head?
blacked out. He was Jake Lockley.
Oh, okay.
So when he's Jake, he thinks he's sleep.
Mm.
When he's Mark, he thinks he's crazy. And he turns when he's Mark, he thinks he's sleep. Sorry. When he's Jake, he thinks he's sleep as Mark. When he's Steven and he's sleep or he's out of it, he becomes Mark.
This is so convoluted. All right.
Right.
I'll just take your word for it, man.
It's all of the, so what I figure is it's not like the Jake Lockley character isn't a main personality. The Jake Lockley character is simply there to serve Khonshu. Is the point I'm kind of getting at.
Yeah,
It,
yeah. I got that too from the what Cadillac limo that Khonshu now rides
I think
around
that was a
in.
Buick. You know what?
Was
I
it
don't
Buick?
know.
It could have been a
I
no, yeah, you're right.
could have
It
been a
could have been one
Bentley.
of those like Chrysler 300 limos or something.
And it said Spectre on the back, which was stupid to me.
It did. It did. Right. Why would Mark Spector's name be on it?
Right, because even if we're talking about going back to them being a billionaire or a millionaire, Stephen Grant was the rich one, not Mark Spector.
Right.
Oh, maybe Jake Lockley is the rich one. Oh, but that would make him a rich serial killer.
Yeah, and maybe like a South American drug dealer.
Yep, I said the same thing. Maybe he's a drug dealer, cartel.
Right.
I mean, because you got to make that make sense too.
Does
Like,
he speak
how is
Spanish in the comics? Is Jake like Lockley is like? Does he speak Spanish?
So from all of the reading I know about, because I never read the actual comic, but all the reading on the comics I know about, there is no Jake Lockley character. There's
Oh,
Mark,
okay, fair enough.
there is Steven, and there is the Moon Knight.
I thought there was another one.
It is
Maybe.
possible that I'm simply not remembering something I read, but I didn't think so. You know what? I think it was because I remember actually at the beginning I was talking about there's supposed to be 3, and then they relegated it to 2, and we were thinking the third might be Moon Knight. So yeah, perhaps. All right, now I gotta go read the lore again. Thanks, Nick. Now I gotta go read the backstory again.
Sorry, yeah, I know. How terrible.
Why did you write this way?
I know it is. It is my fault. I was being lazy. Yeah. So I guess that's pretty much all there is. What else?
Yeah. I'm looking at my notes. We've actually covered everything that I like and disliked about this episode. Oh, sorry. The last thing that I liked about this episode, now this is something I really liked, was that touching monologue that Mark gave to the Steven statue as he was also being crystallized, not knowing he was going to live. When he explains, you were my only superpower, that was pretty cool. And only because it was as cheesy as it was.
It's cheesy.
Super cheesy.
Yeah.
But I liked it under the guise of this is someone who's actually dealing with some real hard shit. And for you to go from having this ailment, it's kind of more so speaking to society than to the character. But to go from these things that everybody looks at a certain way, like somebody with a split personality, like people look at that person like they're totally incompetent and crazy. But for that person to be empowered by that, that's kind of cool. It's kind of a strong moment in the show. For it to happen so early and hold absolutely no significance to the storyline, that was kind of sad.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I don't know. There was some deeper sort of story level things that they were trying to talk about, but I feel like it just didn't have the time to actually marinate, and it could have been delivered in a better, more dramatic way, I guess. Because, like, again, I think we had this conversation last episode where I was like, these are really dark subject elements that we're sort of dabbling in, and it feels almost like Disney trying to be edgy. And I'm like, you're still Disney. You still have to make the hippo voice sound like my wife said it best. She's like, why is the hippo a kindergarten teacher? Like, she sounds like a fucking sorry.
She definitely sound like a kinder teacher.
Yes.
Hi, all right, guys, this is how we're
Yeah,
gonna
we're
do
gonna do
it.
arts and crafts, and everything's gonna be great in the field of reeds. Oh my gosh,
Right. I
like,
was about to say in the field of reeds.
yeah, like, why do you talk like that?
Wow.
Eternal hippo that has been around forever.
Could have chosen any voice. This is what
Any
you
voice, you wanted. Yeah.
no,
Oh,
yeah.
I have to also apologize to Vincent. He said S word. I did say the S word, and I am very sorry. We do try not to curse on this show, but sometimes we get carried away, and mostly it's me. Keelan's pretty good about it, but yeah, sometimes
Right,
it
without
slips.
fault.
It slips.
No, we definitely try, Vincent. We apologize. If there's one thing we want is to be this show to be digestible for everyone. So
Yeah. But we get a little heated sometimes, so yes, they might slip once in a while. We do apologize.
So yeah, there were again, like you said, a lot of undertones that they hit on that were pleasant, but overall, the finale, while enjoyable in some respects, I didn't feel it as a finale. I also did not feel it as a segue to a second season. So I'm not really sure. I'm really at a point where now I feel like episode 4 was the finale. Episode 5 and 6 were bonus episodes that were enjoyable. And if I look at it that way, then I can give this entire series a higher grade than what I want to.
That's interesting. All right, well, let's get to those grades then, because I'm just waiting on bated breath to hear.
Just teetering on Humpty Dumpty's wall, huh?
Yes, I'm floating across the sea of Duat, waiting.
All right, you want to go first? You want me to take it?
I'll go first. That's fine with me. Yeah, man. I think Doctor Strange might be my last Marvel movie.
Oof.
Marvel thing. This is this one in particular, I think, is insulting just because it is so little to do with the actual character that it's named after. I was willing to sort of forgive Loki for having that bait and switch because Loki was at least part of every episode.
At least.
But the character of Moon Knight is not really in this show at all. And if you're looking for a sort of superhero show that has a superhero in it, you will be sorely disappointed. I'm not sure what you would be looking for in order to like really seek this show out. There are some elements of Egyptology that you might find interesting, but they're all very surface level, so nothing too deep there. Oscar Isaac is great. Ethan Hawke is great, but totally underutilized in this show. Not a fan of the Layla storyline. I felt like that was forced and unnecessary because we end up just basically creating this whole story just to reveal that she's going to be something in a new season of something in the future. Which tell the story about the character, please. That's what I would like to hear. So with all that said, I'm going to give this as a series, Moon Knight as a series. It's a 2. It's a 2 out of 10. It's a 2 out of 10 simply because I'll give 1 point to Oscar Isaac and I'll give 1 point to Ethan Hawke.
Do Do you remember what you gave Loki by chance?
Oh, probably a 7 or something like that, which I
Yeah.
think I should definitely revise as well.
No, that's why I asked. I thought to myself we might need to go back and regrade all of the series, the
I
Marvel
agree.
series specifically.
I definitely agree because I think that we weren't. I think we were a bit too bright-eyed and bushy-tailed about the whole thing. It was
Yeah.
novel, and after seeing so many, it's like it definitely taint. And this is the problem, right? Because all of the things that led up to Endgame were so interconnected, but in a good way that you were like, "Holy shit, that was sorry, S word, holy S word." That is, that is an awesome culmination. Endgame, Infinity War, great culmination to all this storytelling.
Mhm.
Now it's like
They're
I
trying to
can't.
find that spark again.
Well, it's not even only that. Now that Loki has destroyed the universe, Doctor Strange has destroyed the universe. All of these things are happening together. So now all of this crappiness, Black Widow, um, all of this crappiness is connected.
It is. You know what's funny
It's
actually?
like the dark universe.
Uh, I like that you say the dark universe. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Something I thought about when it came to just the way these movies and these shows and everything's kind of coming down the pipeline. It reminds me that as I got older from reading the comic books and as they started getting into the deeper phases, I guess, before they started turning into movies, um, even the origins were like the storylines, a lot of the comics back then, they became not as interesting as the Avenger books, the Daredevil comics were great,
Hmm.
you know. Um Captain America comics, of course, were great, but they kind of are like the franchise storyboard at this point. But you understand what I'm saying? Like there were the X-Men comics spurned all of the great X-Men cartoons we got.
Hmm.
The comics nowadays aren't the source material anymore.
No,
They're creating the shows and then making comics based off of the shows.
that's true.
And
That
then
is
they turn
very true.
around and make the next season, like the second, third season, off of what they've made into the comic. And it's like, huh?
Yeah.
And I think that's something else that is happening where they're experimenting and we're following along word by word, tip by tip. We're turning page to page with them, not realizing what we need to do is probably, like you were saying, take a break and allow it to accumulate. And now we have our pick of the litter. We can
Man,
actually pick what's good.
I don't know. I think they're gonna have to, right? I think that what Thor: Love and Thunder is their
Next
last
movie, I think.
next one after Doctor Strange.
Yeah, yeah. And Morbius this was nothing. It did
Oh,
disappear.
Morbius was a disaster. I mean, we were just starting to watch the Eternals.
Hmm.
Have you seen that, dude?
Not yet.
Oh,
I've heard.
maybe we should
I've heard.
do that as a fun one.
I'm down.
Because just
You
the
know,
one to tear up, like
does it come up on your screen every time you finish an episode of Moon Knight?
yes, every
Same.
time.
Yeah,
They want
okay.
us to watch it so bad.
So bad.
Uh,
So
but
which
yeah,
lets me know what it did. And I heard
right.
it wasn't a terrible movie, but I also heard it reminds me of what I just said. Certain things like they put us in a position where we have to compare everything they put out.
Yes, exactly.
Why would you do that to yourself?
If you're not going to do it well every time you do it.
You can't do
Yeah.
anything. Listen, I
Oh,
don't
I
care.
know. I
I don't
agree.
care if you're the best whoever you call the greatest of all time in sports, right? In your favorite sport. They don't make every swing, every shot, every step of the foot is not the same.
Hey, even
So
the Infinity
everything's not
Saga had Thor too.
really
So yeah, I say I'm just saying, like even the Infinity Saga, everything before Endgame, the Thor
ah,
2 was one of those movies that was not that great.
oh my God.
Yeah,
Listen, out for those who listen and want to tune in to If Numbers Could Talk, I am currently working on a budget episode for phases 1 through 3.
nice.
And to date for Marvel phase 4. Uh,
Mhm.
let me just tell you, there's only a few of the movies that really made good money, and the rest of them just piggybacked off of whatever came a movie or two before it.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
definitely.
yeah, so like the ones that the phases that have six, two were good, four were bad. The phases that had or the phase that has 11, two were good. There you go, man.
Right.
So yeah.
But we haven't got your rating yet,
Oh
so you
yeah.
should.
Let me break that on out for ya. So here I am looking at Nick's score and thinking to myself, what is wrong with me? Why? If he has that, then what
Oh,
I'm
don't
thinking.
let my cynicism rub off on you,
Okay,
that's for
nah, I
sure.
got you. But yeah, but we're not the same person, and that's essentially why we'll never have the same score. For the same reasons, even if we have the same scores, usually for different reasons.
Mhm.
So this series, I'm gonna grade this series in its entirety, 6 episodes fully through, not 1 through 4, and then 1 and 1. If I did it that way, I can give it about a 6.
Mhm.
I have to give this a 4, 3.5, 4. So I'm gonna give it a 4. But it's a 3.5, 4. I didn't necessarily not enjoy the show, but I did not enjoy its continuity.
Yeah.
Um, Again, I could probably watch every last one of these episodes from this series individually and enjoy them, but I can't say that there will be a time in the future that I plan on watching them in succession.
Yeah. I
Because
don't think
they
so.
were, uh,
Oh, no, I agree. Yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
Um, so that is where I stand. I will give it a 4 because I can see myself watching an episode or so of this again, here and there, but I cannot see myself watching the season through and through. At least not so close together. Like if I watch episode 1, I probably watch episode 2 a week or two after that, just because I needed something else to watch.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
I think that might be the first time I've actually said that about anything. I don't think I even said that about the Empty Man.
Yeah.
Like legit, like the Empty Man, it was like, nope, not watching it. And then there are
Yeah.
other things that was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna watch it. But this is one of those things where I'll watch it broken up.
Yeah.
I could watch it broken up. So for that,
Right.
it's definitely gonna be a 4 for me.
Okay.
Um, which puts it in the Empty Man category of TV shows.
Yeah, certainly it does. It gives us a 6, and we're dividing that by 2, which will give us an average about 3 out of 10 for Moon Knight. And I think that that's pretty fair. Yeah, man, I don't know if there's not a whole lot for people to be into. Like, I'm thinking, like, would I recommend this to somebody? That's another question we have to start asking.
Ooh.
Is would you put your reputation on this?
Oh wow, that's a different question. You said would I recommend this to
Well,
somebody?
that is a
No, you're right. That
recommendation.
is my
Yeah,
reputation. So
recommending
let me answer
something
that.
to somebody is a part of your reputation. So
You're
yeah,
right. Yeah. Um, I would recommend it in truth. Now the way I explain that truth depends on the person I'm recommending it to.
yeah.
You know.
I can't say that I would recommend it because I can't pinpoint any one thing that I could say. If you like X, then you'll like this.
Oh yeah, it's no Avatar.
It's dude, don't get me started on Avatar. Fern Gully in 3D. Now we're gonna have 4 more of those.
Wait. You talking about the live action movie?
Yeah. Or
Ew.
no, I mean not. Oh, you mean the Last Airbender?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. See, yeah, this is the problem because James Cameron named some 3D movie after
Yeah.
Avatar
You're
as well, which
right. You're right.
does not need another 4 movies. Sounds like a money
Why is it
laundering
4? Like,
scheme.
can we come out with the second one, buddy?
Yeah. It's just been like 10, 20, 12 years since the last one.
We're gonna get a Scarface part 2 before we get an Avatar part 2.
Yeah, they keep saying it's coming out. Apparently, we're going to see a trailer at the Doctor Strange. Apparently, there's going to be an Avatar 2 trailer. So
They need to pay me more for the way.
we'll have to review that trailer just so that we can
I'm
talk
down.
crap about it. All right, I think that we're done for.
Yeah, I think we're done. I have a lot more I want to say, but I'm going to spare the audience. I appreciate you guys. We appreciate you, brother Vincent, for tapping in tonight. Definitely come back. We'll be here on Sunday for sure to tell you guys all about Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. For the Screen Time Continuum, I am Keelan.
And I am Nick.
We appreciate you guys. By all means, check out all of our other shows. Head on over to Facebook, head on over to YouTube, and make sure you got your pen and paper ready or you got your phone out. I'm going to give you a schedule and you got to keep it. Tuesdays and Thursdays, come on over to If Numbers Could Talk, 8:30 p.m. Wednesdays and Sundays, come on over here to Screen Time Continuum, 8:30 p.m. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, you can also go to YouTube and Twitch. Check out Dejan on Strawberries and Coffee. He'll be giving you all kind of things over there. Definitely check that out. You can also check on the Exofathom. That's Fridays at 8 p.m. And then for your Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, as you're headed out to just hang out and feel good and whatever you do on Saturdays, we really want to give you the ability to just make a log. Now you can have a playlist, and on that playlist, add This Merry Moment. That's also on Facebook and YouTube, and that comes on Saturdays at 12 noon. So now you have an entire catalog that you can put together, and on your Saturday and your Monday, the only 2 days that you'll probably have time to not catch us live, you can make a playlist and catch us on the go. We appreciate you guys. We'll talk to you later.